Dave from Days of Glory Shopworks here, and on this episode we are going to do something I didn't think I was going to be doing. We're going to change the front axle in the gasser. So if any of you remember, it was a international frame I used from a 1954 international pickup, and the axle is complete, drum to drum. Thought everything would be cool, except kingpins were seized, which that's not the whole reasoning here. I'm soaking them and I got them turning a little bit. I'm not too worried about it. The problem is parts availability. I can find kingpins and brake flex hoses and rebuild kits for the brake cylinders. Can't find shoes, can't find hardware. Can't find new drums. There's many things that I just can't get for this diff. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to keep it was the nice long leaf springs. They make for a very comfortable ride in an otherwise bouncy vehicle when you run front leaf springs. Ask any guy with a short spring gasser in the front and they will say it's bouncy. But I've had my Ford front axle for quite a while, and it has parts availability for everything. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm gonna forget making the custom kingpins. I'm gonna forget trying to swap just the Ford hubs over, which is doable, but it's a lot of work. And I'm gonna go back to my simple mode of thought process, is keep parts availability. So if I run into a problem with my kingpins or something else I've changed in the front, then I gotta mess around and spend a lot more time fixing when I can just order some parts and fix. So here we go. Ford solid front axle. I've got to, now this is front and rear. It looks like they ran the shackle on the front. I don't like that. I like running the shackle on the rear, and I have another shackle kit. So I'm going to remove the frame mounts, turn them around, put them on the front so they'll position on the inside of the spring, or of the frame. And once I get those swapped around, jack up the front end, I'll cut my mounts that I tacked into place, and we are going to hopefully just pull the rear shackles off and slide them out. I say hopefully because I don't know if they're going to come out at all. Might have to cut them and hack them. But we're going to get the front axle positioned in this video anyway, and then worry about the rear shackles, because I still have to do a little bit of frame boxing, etc., etc. And yeah, here we go. So I'll set you up and see what we can do here. So, right where we left off a couple minutes ago, aka yesterday, day before. Anyway, we we swapped the spring shackles rear to front. So not the shackles, but the actual spring mounts. The shackles I want in the rear for my own purposes, for the way it steers, the way it moves, the way it holds the weight, all that jazz. Anyway, here they are, mounted. I swapped them side to side and turned them left to right, I guess you could say. And that way we can make everything fit the way we want, the way I want. But here's the other issue. These springs are 1 3/4 inches narrower than my frame rails. So what I did tonight was I whipped up these little filler spacers. They're going to give me an extra 2 inches of height. This is 2x4 quarter wall, and I welded in these nuts on the inside. I basically took the shackle off, spring mount off, and I put it in, marked my holes, drilled them, welded them, or drilled them out. Then I bolted everything. I bolted the shackle to the bracket, the spacer bracket I made here, and then I welded these nuts inside so I can easily bolt it on. And what we're going to do then is we take this guy, we slide it in place like so. We do that to the other side. We center it up, and then it'll bolt right up to the front, or it'll sit flush on the frame. I'll position where I want my wheels to sit. X measure it, make sure that I'm square. Then I'll weld these plates in, and then I'll gusset plate them as well and box them. I might box them. I might tack boxes in place just to keep the muck out of it. But anyway, that's where we're going to leave it. I don't have enough hardware to on hand to do it right now. So I got both those brackets made tonight. As you can see, they turned out pretty good. I got to clean them up a little bit. And don't forget, I mean, yeah, everything looks rusty right now. It's still for mock-up. This is all still mock-up right now, and we're going quite well with it. Now, once we get the two front spring hangers tack welded in place, then I can make my rear shackles. I have longer than stock shackles. I want to give the front, what am I trying to say? I want to give it more caster. So the more you tilt the top of the kingpin backwards, the more caster you'll have and the straighter it will drive. I've heard of guys putting as much as 15 degrees caster, and I think that's ludicrously crazy. You need it closer to 0 than that. I'll be happy if I can get about 5 degrees of caster out of it. That'll make it drive super straight down the road, and down the drag track, more importantly. And I won't have a crazy high amount of effort on my steering when I'm trying to park in a parking stall or something, because I do plan on driving this thing on the street at least a little. And drivability is key for me on everything I try to build here. So that's where we're going to leave it for now. Next video, I'll have these guys, I'll weld them in place, and fab up the rear shackles, get that done. And then we're on to mounting the engine. I gotta put the engine on the stub shaft tranny, and then put them on the cherry picker, put them in place. I've got my rear tranny mount ready to go, and it should more or less go pretty smooth. I don't know how I'm building my engine mounts yet. I mean, I still have to box in this section of frame rail, yada yada yada, but we're getting there. Anyway, kind of long-winded, but that's where we're sitting right now. Thanks guys for being patient. I've had quite a bit on my plate here lately, off camera, and everything's kind of smoothing out again. So yeah, we're back on it. All right, everybody, have a good night, and thanks for watching.